Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a minute. I'm so sorry. For those who this may be your first time, my name is Crystal Antoinette, and on this channel we talk about all things faith, healing, and becoming the women of God that He's called us to be. So just some exciting news for you guys who have been rocking with me for a while. We are pivoting and changing, so that's why I've been gone. God has just given me a different strategy just to connect with you guys a little bit more, and then also so that we can actually partner together in prayer. So every month there will be three teachings that we'll do. The first 3 Tuesdays of the month, and then the last Tuesday of the month we will meet at 9 o'clock on Zoom so we can bombard heaven together about the insecurities, about the strongholds, or maybe you just need a push, right? Maybe you just need a little bit of a boost, right, in the area that God has given us to case study in the Bible that month. So I'm super excited about this change, and we are going to dive right in, guys. So this month is something I think we are all quietly dealing with, right? We are in April. The New Year's resolutions have gone away. Some of us might have stuck to the gym. We might have stuck to the diet. We might have stuck to some of these things, but if we're honest, some of us haven't seen fruit yet. If we're honest, we're 4 months in, and things that God promised us this year, things that we have been waiting on for years, right? Things that we've been praying about for a long time still have not manifested. And so when that happens, what happens? We start to settle, we start to backpedal, we start to lose steam in places where we were gaining momentum in faith. And now we're having to wrestle to keep faith, right? Because doubt, insecurity, or even just the voices that are around us that aren't filled with faith, that may not believe, aren't speaking things that are going to help keep our momentum, help us stay encouraged and hopeful. And now our mind is starting to replay some of those things. And so the real question is, what do you do when God gives you a promise and it seems to be taking forever? When you've prayed, when you've obeyed, like we know what it looks like when you're in sin, right? We know that sin causes death. Not physical, but we know that death can come in the way of delay. It can come in the way of denial. Look at the children of Israel. They had to go around 40 more years because of disobedience. So, but what happens when you're doing the right thing? What about when you are in alignment? You're in the will of God. There are confirmations that you're on the right track. You can track Him in your story as you do the things that He's asked you to do, and you're still waiting. And you're still waiting. You're still waiting. If we are honest, the longer that the wait goes on, the desire to settle and to compromise increases. That's real. Like whatever the thing is, it doesn't have to be a sin thing. It's just a compromise. It could be God told you that you were going to have a specific type of job, right? That has nothing to do with sin. You're going to, I declare, or you've gotten a prophecy that you were going to be a director, yet every director job you apply for, you're getting rejected from. And so over time, if it's been a couple months, you might start saying, well, I just need something. I just need something. Or God told you to go to a particular publisher, but they're not answering back. They're not giving you feedback on your book. And so you just might say, well, maybe I should just do self-publishing. Maybe I should. Or He told you He was going to pay for something. Maybe it's school, right? Or a car, and it's not coming through. And He told you that it wasn't going to be financed. But because it's been months or years, you start thinking, maybe I should just apply for that loan. Right? So there are many things, or maybe I should just keep the car I have. It might be at 200,000 miles, but maybe I should just keep the car because I don't see God dropping keys anywhere. The financing isn't coming anywhere. And so in very real situations, no matter what our age is, there are some things that even in obedience, even in alignment, are taking longer. And nobody is talking about the fight to remain full of hope, the fight to remain faith-filled, which means actions come with it, right? It's not just faith in the belief, but faith that leads into actions. until the promise comes. And that's a really real place. I feel you, and God wants to give us encouragement today. And so our case study today comes from Abram, not Abraham, because that was after he was getting the promise, right? He turned to Abraham literally right before God released his promise. So he was Abram for the duration of his journey until the time of promise. And so this is Genesis 15. What happens in Genesis 15? Abram just passed a test with the king of Melchizedek and the king of Sodom, where he properly gave 10% to Melchizedek, and he did not make a covenant with the king of Sodom. And we find ourselves in a place where God is having a personal conversation right after. And so if we go to Genesis 15:1, it says, "After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision, saying, 'Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your exceedingly great reward.' But Abram said, 'Lord God, what will you give me, seeing I go childless, and the heir of my house is Eleazar of Damascus?' Then Abram said, 'Look, you have given me no offspring. Indeed, one born in my house is my heir.'" So basically, God is congratulating him, saying like, "Hey, you did a good job. You did a good job. Like, I am your exceeding reward. Reward is coming." And Abram is like, I don't have an heir. I don't have a son. I don't have anyone to give all of these riches that I received from Egypt, the land that you just gave me in chapters 13 and 14 that you finally said was mine. I don't have anybody to give that to. Where's that supposed to go? Someone who serves me but isn't in my bloodline is about to inherit all of this. And for little context, this is after God made Abram give up his own inheritance. So when Abram comes into the scene, God literally says to him, "Leave everything." His father had just died, so he should have been able to receive everything that was set aside. All the ownership should have gone to him, but instead, God tells him to leave everything. Leave your family, except for his wife, close family, but leave everything behind and follow me to the place that I will show you. So if you guys remember, we talked about this earlier in the year. Like, all he had was a directive, and he didn't tell him immediately where that place was. He just said, "Go and I will show you." So not only do I not have a plan B, come on now, I don't have a plan B because you stripped that from me. But as much as you've increased me, my heart's desire, the thing that is giving me the most anxiety, the thing that keeps me up at night the most, it hasn't been answered. And he's not a young man at this point, so he's in his middle ages by now. You haven't answered it. You've given me riches. You've increased land. You've given me influence with kings around me and things like that. But I don't have an heir. I don't have a son. And back then, that was one of the most important things. Now it's not so much important. But in Bible times, everything flowed through the sons. That was the heir. Birthrights, all of that came through the sons. So it was super important to have one. And why is this important to us? Because we have to get to a point where we are honest with God. We are not taught this, but we have to be honest with God. We have got to take off the mask with him. He is not afraid of how we feel. He is not afraid of us being disappointed with him. He is not afraid of us being angry. He's not afraid of us being disappointed. We just have to bring all of ourselves to him and have the dialogue so he can talk back to us. And so what's beautiful here in the next verse, we find that God does not reprimand Abram. He does not get in trouble. He does not get in trouble. I just want to, for anyone who's feeling condemnation or has been taught that you just have to say, yes, Lord, and you can't be honest with him and you should never feel, I just want to break that off of you in the name of Jesus. God desires real conversation, real intimacy with his children. And the only way to do that is to be authentic, to share not just our joys with him, but our sorrows and our burdens, our frustrations and our cares. His word literally says to cast your cares upon him because he cares for us. Well, how can I cast a care if he has no idea what's going on, in the sense that I won't share with him because I'm just trying to act like I'm blessed and highly favored? And the honest truth is I'm on the last tank of gas. Like, I don't have anything left because I've been waiting and waiting and waiting in this wilderness, waiting on a promise that you told me, and I don't see anything. So we have to be vulnerable. We have to be courageous enough to have an authentic conversation with God, and by way of God, a conversation with ourselves. Because if we're real, we're not just hiding from God, we're also hiding from ourselves. We don't want to feel the feelings, right? We don't want to feel the depth of the sorrow or the disappointment. So it is easier for us to hide. It's easier for us to distract ourselves. It's easier for us to act like everything's all right until we hit a breaking point. But that is not God's desire for us. And so, the reality is, while some prayers are quickly answered, there are some big prayers that are not, that are tied to your purpose, your heart, your future, that take a long time. It takes a long time. And when that happens, when year after year passes and the fire you once had to believe starts to fade, what do you do? What do you do? What happens when you feel like you heard God say, I'm going to do something in 90 days, and the 91st day comes and goes? What do you do? How do you feel? How do you process that? And so just a real life story just to encourage you. So many of you guys know, if you've been following the channel for a while, I am now in my 8th year of purity and abstinence. And I say that because I'm not just not having sex, but I'm also walking in sexual purity, which means no pornography, masturbation, and those things. So we have come out of all of that. Praise be the Lord. He definitely helped me and rescue me. But I have been walking in singleness for 8 years, waiting on a promise from the Lord, waiting on him to instruct me when I am released and all of these things. And the first couple years, it's hard because of adjustment. When you come out of a 10-year relationship into singleness, that's an adjustment. And I have a son, so we're coming out of a family unit, right, into single motherhood. And then you kind of hit your stride, like you're finding intimacy with Jesus, you're serving at your local church, you're in small groups, it feels good. And then somewhere around 6 and 7, you start to find that the things that were like gasoline to your faith in years 1 to 3, 1 to 4, they don't work anymore. So doing the prophetic, go to the store and buy something, like a little wall sign or wall art about marriage, or, just things like that, they don't hit the same. Praying for your future spouse doesn't hit the same anymore. Journaling to them doesn't hit the same anymore. And you find what quietly started to happen to me is I began to settle. So settling sometimes can look like, well, I'm just going to go out and find somebody. But you know what else settling can look like? Settling can look like me saying to God this year, like, Lord, I can be single forever. How many of us will be honest? Like, Lord, I've done 8 years with you. I have learned to hear your voice. I've learned to enjoy your presence. Like, I've grown so much spiritually. I have community, right? Whether it's just through church because I serve, so I have community there. I also have my own ministry, the Queen Standard. I have community there. I have friends, right? And then I have my son, so his track meets and things like I have things that I'm doing for your kingdom. I'm busy. I have community. Like, what do I need marriage for now? Like, it's been 8 years. Could I go another 30, 40? Yeah, like, I could do this. I can do this. Like, is it what I want? No, but I could do this. And the reality is that God had to quiet the rest of the noise. Noise isn't always bad. Quiet the serving, quiet the small groups and all of that, to bring me to a point where I was honest with him to say that while I could do that, what I said was honest, I could. That wasn't my desire. Do I desire, because my son graduates next year and goes to college, do I desire to live alone without companionship for the rest of my life? For another 40 to 50 years, should the Lord give me long life? Is this quietness that I feel when my son's not in the house, is that what I want to do for the rest of my life? Not being able to share the joys or the epiphanies or the discoveries, or have someone come to my conferences and retreats and stuff like that to support, to pray, to cover me. Or I'm a baker, y'all, for those who are in the DMV who know, like, my pies in the wintertime, to be my taste tester, or to go on hikes because I like that. Like, do I want to do all of that alone? And I had to be honest and say, no, I do not. And in that honesty came tears, because the second truth was, but Lord, why am I still waiting? I haven't done the online dating. I haven't gone out here trying to wear the whatever, or, you know what I mean, to make myself visual. I've done what you asked me to do, and I'm still waiting. And I've asked you if I'm doing something wrong, and you're telling me no, but I don't understand why I'm still waiting. I don't understand why I'm seeing other people receive their blessing of marriage a lot faster than I am, and I'm still waiting. Why you even may have wanted my son to go into adulthood with just me. Like, how could that be your perfect will? Now, it wasn't his will for, my son to be born out of wedlock. That's not what I'm saying. But at the point that I listened to the voice of the Lord to stop shacking up with his dad and go alone into this, my thought would be, the Lord is going to bring a man of God to be the head of our household, to teach him how to be a man of God as he's growing up, and to learn what godly love looks like. And there was a grief that was in my heart that I did not know and had not articulated, that was very real. And when I tell you I had to cry for like 2 hours when he brought these things up, I had to cry and get it out. So that is real, guys. Like, the first part is we have to be honest with God. And that is what Abram did. Now, what your honesty with God looks like is, it's up to you, right? It's based on our personality. It's based on our relationship with God. He didn't cry. I did. I'm more of a David girl. Like, I'm going to cry. I'm going to scream. I'm ready to fight. Like, let's go. Right? So Abram's not like that, but you might be, or you might not be. But whatever the reality of the truth is in your heart, you have to be brave enough to have a real conversation and even say, Lord, I feel like you've forsaken me. I feel like you forgot me. I know your word says that you don't, but I feel like that in this moment, and I don't understand. Please help me understand. I'm angry. I'm sad, I'm lonely, I'm frustrated. Whatever the thing is, help me. At the end of that, help me to understand. And why is that important? Because the next thing that God says to Abram, again, he didn't get a rebuke, he didn't get a reprimand. It says in verse 4, and behold, the word of the Lord came to him saying, this one shall not be your heir. So he's now talking directly to his fear, right? That he was willing to be honest about. This one will not be your heir, but one who will come from your body shall be your heir. Then he brought him outside and said, "Look now toward heaven and count the stars, if you are able to number them." And he said to him, "So shall your descendants be." Where did we hear a reprimand? Where did we hear that he was upset with him because he didn't believe, or because he was struggling with belief? I didn't hear it. Did you hear it? I didn't hear it. So God is not afraid of our negative, quote unquote, emotions. He wants us to bring everything to him. And when we're honest, what we see happens both in Abram's story and my own. God talks back to us. And many of us have been wondering, where is God? Why is he not speaking? God knows that when we're full in our hearts and our minds and our spirits, when we're full of the yuck, when we're full of the disappointments, when we're full of the anger, when we're full of the frustration, we can hear it, but we can't. Let's be for real. Like, think about when you've been in an argument with somebody. You hear them, but you don't. You're not really absorbing what they have to say. And you're kind of combative, right? So God desires for us, again, to cast our cares. Think about when you cast something away, right? That's not like a drop. He didn't say drop it on the floor. That's like you're flinging it at God. We have to fling these yucky emotions at Jesus. And because we're getting it out, we now have room. We have capacity to receive the word of the Lord back. And so I just want to affirm and encourage you again, just like Abram, God is not going to reprimand you because you have a negative feeling or because you don't understand how he's moving. He wants all of that. And when we empty out, it gives him space to fill us back up with his peace, his presence, but also to confirm, reaffirm, or to give us directive if that's what's necessary after we've gotten stuff out of our hearts. And so what happens is God speaks directly to the fear that Abram has. Eliezer is not going to be your heir. You will have a son. It will come from your body. I'm making it very plain. It's coming from your body. And I'm giving you a little bit more, and it's going back to the first covenant that God gave him when he left his father's house. They're going to be as numerous as the stars. So when we make space for God, he will then come back and confirm what he said. But the first thing is first. We cannot jump steps. And the first step is to have a moment where we are abiding with God. Remember, abiding with God is not just worshiping him on Sunday and then leaving the room. Abiding is doing life with. It's dwelling for a long period of time. And so that means whether we're in prayer or something's happening in our lives, or we have to have these uncomfortable talks, that is where it starts. That is where our help comes from. And a lot of us have been denied our help or have been unable to see our help because we haven't hit step one. Because we haven't been honest that we desire to settle, or that settling has kind of crept in, even if we weren't looking for it. And we want God to answer. We want him to show up, but we're not really trying to have a real conversation with him. So what should you take from this? Be authentic with the Lord. He knows you. The word says that he knit you in your mother's womb. He knows the hairs on your head. You're fearlessly and wonderfully made, right? Like he's the potter, we are the clay. So it doesn't need to sound like anything. If you're a direct person like me and kind of like Abram, like, Lord, I'm not happy about this. I feel like you. This made me feel. Why have you? You can be direct. If you're not as direct, whatever your way is, we have to be authentic. We have to be real, and we have to share our truth of what's in our heart with the Lord first. And when we do that, when we abide, when we invite him more into our story, into those parts of our hearts that hurt, into the parts of our hearts that we have question marks and disappointments, it allows him to abide back with us. Remember, the word said, abide in me and I in you. And so he's already given us the invitation, but it's on us to actually answer the call and to respond back. And that's what Abram did. He responded back and he was like, I'm not happy. I'm disappointed. And this is the desire of my heart that has not been met. And so just like Abram, you can do the same too. I did the same too. And God answered. And he confirmed that, Crystal, you're right on track. I'm not doing anything wrong. There is a reason why, my son is meant to walk into adulthood this way. He didn't share that part, but he did confirm marriage for me. He said, go back and study, do a case study on marriage. And he was like, the first thing that it said was not be fruitful and multiply. He said it's not good for man to be alone. And so what God was confirming is, yes, marriage is my desire for you, not just out of purpose, but because it's not my will for you to be alone. So the very question he was asking me when I was like, Lord, I could do this for years, he was like, but do you want to, for real? Because that's not my will for you. My will is that no man would be alone, right? It even says in other scriptures that he sets the lonely in families. So whether it's marriage or otherwise, it is clear in the Bible that he does not mean for any of us to live as an island. And we'll talk about this next week. I now have a decision. You have a decision. Abram had a decision to make once the Lord came back and gave a confirmation. And we are going to talk about faith now. So after we empty out, after we're honest with God now, and he responds, we then have to respond too. And that response is faith. So I just pray that within this week, you are brave, you are courageous, and you choose, be it 5 minutes, be it an hour, be it a letter to God in a journal. Be brave and begin to exercise abiding with God in the reality of the things that are weighing your heart. Be honest with yourself and with God about where you might be settling. Maybe, again, it's the title or the position that he called you to, but it hasn't shown up yet, so you're looking for other things. Or maybe you too, like me, are waiting for marriage and it's been 10 years, it's been 15 years, and you're starting to say to yourself, I can just live this way. I'm already doing a good job. I can just do that. Whatever the thing that is weighing your heart the most, I challenge you and encourage you to spend time with God this week and just empty out and allow him to love you in that place. Allow him to show you that he is a comforter. Allow him to show you that he is a friend. What does a friend do? They listen and they don't judge. They listen to you. And they love you there. And they show you, when we give them opportunities, that they can be trusted, that your vulnerability is in a safe place with them. And that is all that God wants us to know as his children, that he loves us so much, that he makes room for our imperfections. He loves us so much that a misunderstanding between us and him doesn't break anything. He just wants to fix it. He wants always to come into reconciliation. We just have to reach out and ask the hard questions and feel the hard emotions. So I pray that this was good for you. Please drop in the chat if you felt like this was encouraging. Know that you're not waiting. Whatever the thing is, you're not waiting alone. Your sister girl right here is waiting too. And I'm walking through this real time with you. For those who already want to sign up for the prayer call at the end of the month, the link will be in the description. Once you drop in your email, you will get the link to the Zoom call where we just go straight in, heavy fire, to bombard heaven about our promise, about settling, and about faith. Until next week, see you guys.